I'm going to talk about today identifying toxic relationship dynamics in your world. And a lot of people that come to me um, are really dating their mother or father and are playing a role, a victim to abusive patterns when they are just unaware that the reason that they are attracted to that person is because of subconscious patterns that come from their childhood. And we're going to talk about this in depth today to help shed light on your relationship patterns so that you can free yourself from them and get out of victimhood about it. Because if you know me, anything about me, or if you don't, I'll tell you, I do not perpetuate victimhood. I don't believe in it. I'm not available for it. I believe in taking ownership of every area of your life. So let's get into this whole thing. If you don't know me already, my name is Grace Moralia. I specialize in trauma healing facilitation, inner child healing. I help my clients release inner blocks that keep them from living their deepest truths so that they can live an empowered life in resonance with their highest version of themselves, share their gifts, and love themselves. If you're interested in working with me, you can check out my services below right here. I'm offering consultation calls for people who are interested in working with me. And I also have a trauma and inner child healing session available below that you can book. Okay, and please like and subscribe if you like my energy. All right, so are you dating your dad or are you dating your mom? I want you to look at your partner or your past relationships and notice how the dynamics have been and notice if there have been anything repeating itself. The reason why these patterns exist from in our realities right now, or continue to play out, is because of our subconscious is trying to prove ourselves worthy to these patterns, to these patterns, but to these people that represent our parents to our inner child and subconscious mind. So, for example, if you tend to be a people pleaser in your relationships, most likely you're going to be with a narcissist or someone that, doesn't really always have your best interest. And I want you to look like, or maybe a better example would be if you are dating someone who has avoidant tendencies, and you seem to be putting in a lot more effort and energy towards them, I want to ask you this. Who in your childhood mirrored those patterns of avoidancy in your life? Now, the reason why we feel like we are so in love with someone that actually represents a trauma bond in our relationship, in our lives, is because of this attachment. It's not love. Real love is going to feel a lot more easeful. It's going to feel very deep. It's going to feel reciprocated. In fact, real love can't even be present in its purest form if it's not, in that true space of reciprocal, relating. If we are accepting less than that, then there's some sort of part of us inside that is asking for healing. Now, when you think you're in love with someone who is avoidant, it is, and it feels supercharged, it's showing you that you're being breadcrumbed a lot of times, for example. If you're being breadcrumbed, you're going to really feel excited that you're receiving something from someone. And you're going to hold on to that and you're going to want to show up more because they're not showing up as much as you are. So it creates this dynamic of, wow, I'm just going to get what I can receive. If you suffer with a lot of unworthiness, right? And you were breadcrumbed in childhood and your needs weren't met emotionally, maybe physically or more, you're going to automatically have an unworthiness wound in you, some form. I don't care what you say. You might also fear abandonment because your needs aren't being met. If you have an anxious attachment style, that has a lot to do with unworthiness, not having our needs met, and being afraid of being abandoned. As you get deeper into inner child healing, you'll understand that, all patterns lead back to each other. You might start feeling like you have a people-pleasing tendency, but and then that leads you to shame. And then that leads you to unworthiness, and that leads you to fearing abandonment. So they're all connected. And what I like to teach my clients is how to get into the root of their traumas, the core root. When we can get into the core root of why we are facing something, that energy, that emotion, that's how we begin to shift our lives from the inside out. Okay? So that you no longer date these people that have these tendencies that make you feel like shit. Right? First, we identify, then we address it with loving awareness. Now, if you feel like you don't feel very seen by the people around you, or that you're an overgiver, that's also an issue, because there's a hyper independent twinge to that. What do I mean by hyper independent? Meaning that you are a caretaker, you don't really receive as much as you give. So you probably grew up too fast in that way, in a way that made you feel like you had to take care of everything by yourself, and that you can't receive love. You can't receive support. And that's a wall that needs to be broken down by your awareness to say, you don't have to hold everything by yourself. You don't want to hold everything by yourself. You can allow loving support in, right? Once we're aware of the pattern, it's really important to not judge yourself about the pattern. It's more important to focus on how we can shift out of it, right? Which is through consistent choosing of a new pattern, choosing of a new way of responding. You can choose to see, oh, I have this hyper independent quality. I feel, like I have to do everything by myself. Or I have this people pleasing quality, and I don't feel like my partner meets me, but I meet them. Or you might feel like, oh, I have this anxious attachment or avoidant attachment, and I know that it's hindering me in my relationship dynamic. So let's just start with that awareness. Once you have the awareness, you can say, how does this play out in my life? Let's be honest. Where did I learn this from childhood? How is this mirroring something from my past? Once we have that information, then we can start saying, I'm no longer going to subscribe, put energy into, really give life to this pattern anymore, because I'm going to focus on loving myself. And that's where your power is. Your power, my power, all their power, anywhere, is through self-love and self-honesty. Because the more we love ourselves, the more that we can accept ourselves, the more that we can be honest and really change these patterns from the inside out. Right? Without self-love, how are we going to be able to be raw with ourselves, real with when we need to rest, real with when we, don't feel met? It's going to be a lot harder. So the responsibility to yourself is to nurture yourself in the way that you are not receiving nurturing from others. Right? How are you not receiving the love that you need from others? And then what is underneath that? And how can I love myself through that? Right? That's your ticket to freedom. Now, there's a lot of deep tools, processes that have shifted my life and my client's life when I tell you deep healing. Okay? You want to integrate these tools to regain your power, to really move out of these traumas, move out of these stories. And that is what I share with you when you work with me one-on-one. Okay? You need these tools, these self-love empowerment tools and healing tools that will get you into the root of the trauma to transmute them. That's what therapy doesn't do a lot of the times, depending on what type of therapy. I know that there's some really great ones out there. I'm not trying to hate on therapy, but really, we need to get to the core root of it, understand it, and be our own parent, be our own mother, be our own father, right? Through that, then we take our power back and we can see when somebody else is going to abuse us, when there are more red flags, right? And so that radical honesty, because you love yourself, because you want more, you get to choose more for yourself. You are worthy. You just need to show yourself that you're worthy. You need to work within your own body, your own being, and convince yourself, hey, you know what? I know I didn't receive this love before, but that doesn't mean I'm not worthy of it. That doesn't mean my truth isn't valid. If someone isn't validating you in what you feel, that doesn't mean it's not valid. It's valid for you, it's real for you, and it deserves to be seen and held and loved. And if you are not feeling like you are seen and held and loved in your truest expression, then there's a problem there. There's a problem that you're allowing that, and there's a problem on the other side. It's not reciprocal, and it shouldn't be in your field. I'd rather you be alone, learning, healing, evolving, than accepting something that makes you feel bad. For what? Life is short. The way that I live my life is to say, even if something's a little bit off, it's a problem to me. I need to shift it because I care so much about my resonance with my life and how I feel that I'm not going to take bullshit anymore. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm 26. I'm telling you guys this in the videos because people think I'm in high school and I'm not. And I've been facilitating this healing work and doing it for myself. I've been doing it for myself for over 8 years. I've been working with clients for going on 4 years now. So I get it, you guys. I get it. I don't have time for the BS anymore. Neither do you. We choose love or we choose fear. We choose love or we choose fear. We choose love or we choose fear. Those are all the only options we have. So what are you going to do? 11:11 on the timer right now. You are more than your patterns. You are more than your childhood. You are more than what you've been through. But you have to allow yourself to see that and to embrace yourself back to wholeness. Because those parts of you don't define you. They are just a part of your experience and the traumas that you've experienced. And you can free yourself of them and get out of victimhood about it and say, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to learn to love myself until I am met. Be fucking for real, okay? If you want to work with me and help transform these things with really integrative, powerful, literally fucking life-changing tools in a space with someone who really loves and sees you for your highest good, book a session below. And please like and subscribe. If this was helpful for you, let me know in the comments. I'm loving you, seeing you, and I hope you have a great day.